In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, amen.
Hello, beautiful friends. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Claudine.
And this is Shokran Very Much, the podcast. And this week's episode is called Voice of the Youth Part 2.
Happy Monday, beautiful friends. Back by popular demand, we have a part 2 to our Voice of the Youth episode. This was the original plan to have another part, but the first one did so good and everyone was so excited and loved it, and we are so happy that we get to be back here again. Our last episode was with the youth from Holy Transfiguration American Coptic Orthodox Church, and this week we are with the youth from St. Verena and the Three Holy Youth Coptic Orthodox Church. I'm so excited for this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together.
Stop.
We have the Yusuf sisters, minus one.
Minus one.
Jasmine and Julie Yusuf.
Hi, babies.
How are you guys?
Whoop, whoop.
Very great. I'm very happy to be here.
How are you, Jasmine?
I'm excited. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Before we start, I have to point out, Julie's among the ranks of the giants here, right?
Oh, wow.
Her Spotify Wrapped came back. She listened to Shokran Very Much for 989 minutes.
Wow.
And she was a top 0.5% fan.
Oh, it was a group
We
effort.
have the same
We have
Spotify
to say, yeah.
account.
Jasmine, you told me this and I forgot.
Yeah, this was a collective effort.
She told me.
Yes.
So the Yusuf sisters, they actually own the podcast. They're the producers. We just talk.
Yeah.
The third one is Jessica. She's a legend. Shout out Jessica.
Yeah, shout out.
We love her.
Everything.
So obviously, the big question we're asking in the episode, but we have an icebreaker that we start off with.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are listeners. You guys know. We don't have to tell you. So Natalie came up with this one especially for you guys.
If you could have a fourth Yusuf sister,
No.
what would her name be?
Oh, it's so.
I like that.
You know the pattern with the J.
Yeah.
J name, a girl. But it has to be like. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Arab. My name is Julie.
My
Like,
mom was actually not gonna name her Julie. She was gonna name her Natalie.
but it's gonna have to be a J name.
Yeah.
It has to be like.
I was like, I'm gonna ask them what the fourth name would be, and I'm like, Jennifer.
Wait, I said no, Jennifer, because Jennifer's so like. I feel like it's so aggressive.
I feel
it is.
Jennifer.
Jenny?
Nickname Jenny. Like,
I mean,
don't know.
all love to all Jennies out there.
Like you hear it and you just feel like calmness.
My mom likes French names.
Yeah,
so
my mom also does like
I'm
French names.
thinking Janelle. I'm just thinking
Ooh,
Janelle.
stop. That's so nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yes.
Janelle.
Janelle is cool.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Or do you have a
Jennifer.
Joy.
Yeah.
Joyce or Joy? Yeah.
Oh, Joyce. Joyce
Yeah.
is
She
also
would've
like
done
a
Joyce is like
Joyce
enough
Yusuf.
foreign, but enough
And
Egyptian. It would work
That's
either
perfect.
way.
That's perfect.
Okay.
What a
Joyce
beautiful
Yusuf.
question.
It would have been. Do you
Joyce
think she would have been older than you or younger?
I think she would have been
Like older than Jessica or
older-
younger than you?
No, I think in between Jasmine and Jessica. I feel like I was
Yeah.
made to be the youngest brat.
Yeah, she was just like, I was designed this way.
No one's coming after
Yeah,
me.
I think there's like 5 years between me and Jessica, so if we had one right in the middle, it'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So for the listeners' sake, Jessica's the oldest, then Jasmine, then Julie,
There we go.
and fictional. What is the decided name?
We're going
Joyce.
Yeah.
Joyous Yusuf, non-existent. Between
Joyce, yes.
between Jessica and Jasmine.
21.
I like it.
Okay, big questions. If there's one thing that you could either have people talk about more, or pay more attention to, or change about the church, what would it be?
Jasmine, do you want to start? You can.
I wanted to talk about service in other ways other than Sunday school, because I feel like, with like servants prep, we're all driven to be like servants, all like driven to help like the younger generation, which is of course like it's amazing. Like my Jessica is a servant, and I love helping kids, like ACTS kids, summer camp. You know what, it has its ups and downs.
She said, I love summer camp, and you could just see the smile on her face, like, I'm lying.
With all the names of the kids I want.
I just feel like other ways of service can also be like, calling for other people.
Yeah. And I think that the fact that what you're saying is true, like, it's immediately, like, you have to have a Sunday school class. It's part of your developmental, like, path of life, and you don't need to.
Have you been wanting to upstairs for servants prep? Oh, sorry, Mom. Let me just go right there.
I fully agree with
that question. Like, why is servants prep a requirement?
You know, I mean, it like kind of surfaced back like after COVID, but like I honestly I think it's like more to make sure we're all like educated and like at the level. Like, are we ready, or are we just doing this to make our parents?
Yeah, and I
happy?
agree with servants prep as a concept, but I mean this idea of all the tons being like, why aren't you in servants prep? Like, it's a requirement for someone who wants to serve, but it's not a requirement for every person who passes through the church doors if they're under like 50.
I also don't like that there's a test. Julie, what do you think? Yeah.
Tell us about LA.
Okay. Basically every other Saturday or every Saturday, we go to LA. We go to specifically Skid Row, where their servant, his name's Mike. I love him.
Yeah, shout out Mike. He's been on the podcast. He's mentioned in every episode. People are familiar with Mike at this point.
Yeah. But we go and we set up a table where we set up food, and we basically have a line going. But when you like get the food and you pass it out to people specifically and you just talk to them, they have so much to say.
Absolutely.
And they are so grateful just for your presence. Even if you're giving them just like
chips.
It's the one time we ran out of food, we gave them a later.
Just literally like a plate of chili. They're like, thank you. Like, thank you for being here. And you could have one of the most like genuine relationships with someone that like you wouldn't like if you saw them you wouldn't like say hi to them because you'd be too scared. Yeah, like we know Maria. She has a house now. Like she has an apartment and she lives there.
It was so fun to see that. Like
her
for a while, like we weren't
progress.
seeing her, and I was like, Mike, where is she?
Yeah.
He was like, she got a house. I was like, are you joking?
Yes, there's this lady named Maria, and then we first got introduced to her. Like we saw her, she was living in a tent, and she was just telling us about how there's like different applications for housing in LA, and you kind of just like submit your application, you wait, but you don't know how long, and that's the problem because like housing everybody in LA, I know it would take a lot.
I think last time I spoke with Mike, he said the wait list is 6 years.
Yeah. So just to like be there towards like the end of like when we met her and then she got a house or an apartment, I think it was like the most beautiful thing ever. I just love it. I love all the different people that you can meet. And then the people, I had someone, they were like, do you have a Bible? And I was like, yeah, I have a Bible. And then I pulled it out. Literally, I'm not even joking, he gets the Bible, he opens it to the random page, and he just like points at a verse. And the verse is about helping others and feeding them. I am not joking when he's like, read that for me. He couldn't read. I'm gonna cry. He couldn't read. It was literally like telling you about what like giving is, and I was like there's no way that just happened to me. Yeah,
that's incredible. Honestly, the number of
great.
like in summer camp, we always tell the kids, we give them this bracelet on the first day, and we tell them this is to remind you to see your for your God sightings, like where do you see God today. And we do that every year, and I'm always like, great, an activity for the kids. But honestly, in that concept, the number of God sightings that we get to see in LA is incredible.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. And just like people who are like, sometimes we'll like run out of food and we can't give it to them. We're like, I'm sorry. And they're like, no. Like, and thank you for just being here. Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
And you realize that most of the time it's like, great, they're hungry. Yeah, we're giving them food, but they're also hungry for other things. And sometimes it's just that connection.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really great. Yeah, totally. So just like Jasmine, I was also thinking about like the topic of service, and the first thing that came to mind is that like I'm 15, like high school, like, and I was just thinking about like I know that there's people at school, like I'm like, oh, look at that kid that always sits alone, or like I know this person doesn't have any friends, but like sometimes I feel like that, and I'm like, but that doesn't have anything to do with me, like I'm there for myself, it's fine. But like at one point, like, am I just going to church on Saturdays and Sundays and like youth meeting on Fridays, and like how can I serve like as a Christian in my daily life? And I don't know, I was then thinking to servants prep, I'm like, we kind of learn how to like serve for the kids then, pass it down, but I think we also needed to like be there to support people our own age too, and I think that's where it gets hard. Like I remember my school had like this little day where you get pulled out of class, and it's like a mental health day, and it's called Breaking Down the Walls, and like we had a speaker come in, and like people were like crying because it got so deep and so emotional. Like people were like, yeah, sometimes I just feel like I don't have anyone to talk to, or this or that. And I was like, I'm not really like so sad right now. I'm more like, wow, like have I really never like helped anyone or like spoken out or like shown myself as a Christian like to other people. And I think sometimes we just don't open up about like our school lives when we're at church. Like, you know, we're in Sunday school and we're just like, oh, how are you guys this week? Good. And then like, let's get into the lesson. Like, I think we should like break down like what happens in our daily lives too, and kind of like see how we should affect other people and have like a Christ-like figure in ourselves, in our own image, you know, like. And I remember like after that day I was super motivated and I was like, I want to talk to someone I've never talked to before. And I know like this one guy he's always sitting alone, and I was just like, hey, like how are you, like oh, did you go to Breaking Down the Walls? And he was like, yeah. And I just remember like that was the most like maturing conversation I could have had. Like he had so much to say, and all it took was like for me to come up to him. And like I feel like no matter if like someone at school, I'm sure everyone knows people of different backgrounds and different religions, like everyone always needs a voice, and I feel like a Christian voice is always one that's like great to give out and hear. And I feel like we always keep like our Christian lives like saved for the weekends, you know, like when we should just
separate your church and school life.
I feel like it should just be more of a practice, and I think our servants could like tell us that more, you know. Yeah,
I like that.
I really like that, because we do that a lot, the whole separating. This, like my school friends, my church friends, my school this, church this,
exactly.
And that's not how it's supposed to be.
There was a speaker giving a lesson, and he was like, he quoted the Bible, I think, and he said like, you can't have a foot in both worlds, or else it's never like, you cannot be successful with having one side of your life doing one thing and one side having the other. Eventually they're both going to collide, or you're just going to choose one over the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, oh, I just go to parties on Sundays. Like, I just need a break. What do you need a break from? Christ is with you 24/7.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Like, it's hard to say, because like, I'm going to admit to it. Like, I've done some things that I haven't. Yes. But like,
I do think sometimes where I'm like, but just at school. What do you mean just at school?
Yeah. That separation.
That's a really good point. Yeah, and I wish people were more aware of that too.
Oh yeah.
Shukran very much, Jasmine and Julie.
Shokran.
Yeah.
We've loved having the Yusuf sisters on. Hopefully we can
Loved
complete
being
the
here.
trio in a future episode.
Oh yes.
Fingers crossed.
We'll make it happen.
Yes, absolutely. Shukran very much.
Thank you guys.
With us today for Voice of the Youth, Simon Fahmy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're great. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me. This is my first podcast. Very excited.
It won't be your
One of
last.
many. One of many.
Yes,
I hope so.
you're
I
gonna
hope
be
so.
a legend after this.
Oh yeah.
So we start every episode with an icebreaker.
Okay.
Natalie came up with this one, so
Oh,
she's
yeah.
gonna ask it.
What's your favorite pair of socks?
What's my favorite pair of socks? Favorite pair of socks. Pair that I wanted, but my mom said no. It was a picture of a hand on the socks, right? On the socks, the hand is putting a coin into a piggy bank, and it said Jesus saves, and I was like, come on, that's so cool. But I don't know, I guess she thought it was heretical, but
That was epic.
It's okay.
I'll buy it behind her back.
Okay, Simon, big question.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing you could have people talk more about in the church, or change, or bring attention to, what would it be?
This is a big thing, and it's probably broader than you guys think, but I would like eventually, maybe within my lifetime, maybe within like the next generation lifetime, that we are able to make like a church that merges a lot of the Oriental churches. So all the other churches that we're in communion with, like Ethiopian, Armenian, Syrian, Assyrian, there's a couple others, I think. I think it would be cool, like, somehow, because our liturgies are very similar, right, and we're in communion with them, so the problem of merging is only with the liturgy, like, how do we make the liturgy run, because maybe it's different languages, you sing it differently. I think it's starting to be weird to me that our like churches in America are still like racially segregated because of like immigrants, like obviously like Coptic people all from Egypt, and they brought the whole tradition here. Same with all the other ones, right? Each like country basically brought their church here, and already like the liturgy is starting to change like there's less Coptic, less Arabic. Some things are shorter, longer. Like, just things are changing, right? Because we live in a different society. And I just think it would be like, because I have friends who are other types of Oriental Orthodox, and it's like it feels weird that we don't go to the same church, but like we're in communion to each other. We believe all the same things, except for like really minor things maybe that don't really change our day to day. And like maybe people are trying to do that with American church, like American Coptic churches.
Yeah.
But if they're still Coptic, like to me personally, I think like American churches are just like, there's Coptic churches and those are all just Egyptian people, right? And then American churches are just more Americanized Egyptian people. So it's not like my personal goal is not achieved, which is to merge them. Maybe like the American churches have their place and they're very useful, but I don't think
You want it to be more of not American Coptic Orthodox Church, but more like just an American
merged.
Orthodox.
Yeah, because the Coptic part ruins it.
Yeah, but also I don't know. It's hard to, like, we were all raised, like, our church was all just Coptic people, so like we don't know that many people in other Oriental churches to be able to merge.
Yeah.
Don't you think there would be like a language barrier though?
No, because it would probably be almost all English.
Oh, okay.
Because I know that the Eastern Orthodox, Eastern, Western, Eastern, I think, right?
Yeah,
like the Russians and Greeks and
that's
stuff.
Eastern,
They have an Orthodox Church of America, which is an Orthodox church that they are in communion with, that was made for Americans.
Yeah.
So they're not all culturally Russian or Greek or whatever the other ones are. But it's so Orthodox, and I don't know, it just feels like more of a diverse community, which I think should, like, eventually our, like, kids probably will not feel as Egyptian as we do, because our parents are immigrants, so we still have a huge connection, because it's like we speak Arabic at home, like when we're fasting it's always like full. Like, so
We were just having this fight the other day with my dad.
What was it?
I don't like fool, and he was like, Siam is fool, and I was like, no.
Are you a falafel person?
Huh?
Are you a falafel person?
I'm a neither person.
Ugh, I'm a fool person.
I don't know if I like it. Like, I wouldn't ever intentionally pick either.
Really? Like
Exactly.
during like when we're not Simeon, I'd still
Okay,
eat fool.
let me tell you
No
this.
way.
One time, it was literally the week after the feast. Like, we had just stopped fasting.
Yeah.
And this girl goes, and she's like, this pizza place is really good, right? So I buy pizza. She gets a literal falafel dish. And when I'm eating the pizza, I'm like, something tastes wrong. And it's literally a vegan place. So she took me to some vegan place a week after the fast. And
I'm
so I was,
sorry.
like, super angry.
I'm
and she was like,
sorry.
why are you mad? I'm like, because we just stopped fasting.
I'm sorry.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, like I like vegan food.
Oh, so you knew it was a vegan place?
Yeah. I thought she would like
Be down
No,
a
I thought
week
she
after?
would know that too.
Look at he was
I'm
like
sorry,
a week
I'm sorry,
after.
I'm
That's
sorry,
the problem.
I'm sorry.
But I think your point is really important, just because when you think about like the Syrian Orthodox Church or the Armenian Orthodox Church, all these different churches that we're in communion with, in my mind, I still consider them different churches.
Yeah.
But in reality, I could just walk in and have communion with them.
Yeah.
I remember one of my servants when I was younger was like moving away for work, and there was no Coptic church in the state he was going to. And he was like, oh, I'm going to go to a Syrian Orthodox church. I was like, how could you? And he was like, what do you mean, how could I? Like, we can have communion with them. I was like, really?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to just create a sense of unity.
I think it starts with us as well. So I think it starts with us to be able to, like, I don't know, you have friends, maybe we bring each other to each other's churches, stuff like that. And then eventually, like, somehow there needs to be some sort of committee, some sort of group of people that says, we're going to make a new church and separate it. Or, like, and this is what we take from the Syrian liturgy, this is what we take from the whatever, this is what we take from the Coptic. So, but it's like a tall ask, so we'll see.
It is, but
When it
it's
comes
a
to
good
life.
point,
I like it,
and it's a very good proposal. Shukran very much, Simon.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Bilafa?
No.
Laugh.
Whatever you just said is not a thing.
Okay, I'm gonna just.
Speaker for today, our next guest, is Daniel Govria. How are you, Daniel?
Hi guys. What's up, guys? Welcome back.
How are you, Daniel?
I'm good.
You're good?
Excited, nervous.
Yeah, it's okay. So this is actually most of the youth that come on these episodes. It's our first time on a podcast. Daniel's worked behind the scenes for a couple episodes, though. He's actually helped us prep, so
Yeah.
shout out Daniel.
If you could be any color in the world,
Oh my
what
God.
color would it be and why?
If I could be any color.
If you could be a color. Like,
is-
what color gives off your, like...
He's wearing purple for reference.
No, Daniel's not purple.
If I could be any color, my favorite color is white, but I don't know if it represents me very well.
White is not a color.
White is a
No,
color.
it's actually the absence of color.
No, it's black. White is all of the
No.
colors. My favorite color is white, but I don't know if it represents me because white is like.
He's like, I'm pure.
But I'm
Holy.
but I'm not. So it's probably like black then. Like I don't.
No, come on.
Maybe blue.
Why?
I don't know. It's a pretty chill color. You know, it doesn't get into fights or anything. It just chills. You know.
I think blue's chill.
Like it's not like competing. Like red is like a competing color. You know, like red is out here trying to like take over the world. You know.
Yeah.
But like, blue's just chills. You know.
Daniel, if there was one thing you wish people talked about more in the church, were more aware of, or changed, what do you think it would be?
I want to start with like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a riddle or like a poem. But I heard a few winners mention this one, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess I'll just read it. What am I? I have no respect for justice. I maim without killing. I break hearts and ruin lives. I am cunning and malicious and gather strength with age. The more I am quoted, the more I am believed. My victims are helpless. They cannot protect themselves against me because I have no name and no face. To track me down is impossible. The harder you try, the more elusive I become. I am nobody's friend. Once I tarnish a reputation, it is never the same. I topple governments and wreck marriages. I ruin careers and cause sleepless nights, heartaches, and indigestion. I make innocent people cry in their pillows. Even my name hisses. I make headlines and headaches.
Gossip.
Gossip. It's funny because I wish we would talk about it more, but not talk. You get what I mean? Yeah.
You have a point.
But yeah, I was doing a lot of research on this topic in like preparation for this, which I did all my research like 2 weeks ago, and then the episode got delayed, so I forgot most of it. But like,
Honestly, Daniel was one of the only people committed to the original time. So shout out Daniel.
Sure, yeah. So I have notes here, and hopefully they work. But what I've heard, essentially, the Abunas, a lot of people that I heard talking about this, they do not mess around. Like, they don't pull any punches at all. Like, it is crazy. I heard one Abuna say, someone who gossips is a sign of someone who's not a believer, which I think is deep. That is serious. And his evidence for that is Romans 1:29-32. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God-haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent ways of doing evil. They disobey their parents. They have no understanding, no fidelity, no love, no mercy. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things deserve death, they not only continue to do these very things, but also approve of those who practice them. Wait. Envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice in the same section as gossip. And also come in the book of Proverbs.
And also come
in the book of Proverbs. I forgot to write the verse. So the 6 things that the Lord hates, yes, 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look, which I think everyone hates that. No one, yeah. A lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. 3 of those could apply to gossip. And the word is hate. Hate. That is a strong word. Could you imagine? Just like, not that it would happen, because I find it very hard to believe, but like, could you imagine God is just like, I hate you? Like, I again, probably not gonna happen, but like, that is, I can't even think of words. Like, it is just, in fact, in the Bible, whenever they use the word like whisper or gossip or anything like that, it comes from the same root, like the same root of the word division, which comes from the same root of the word devil. Which, so, a devil.
Wow.
Yeah, they are not messing around. Again, also in Proverbs, he who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. And in another translation, it says the closest of friends. So the closest of friends literally takes one guy to just ruin everything. Literally ruin. I'll say a story. I'll just say it now. Why not? I heard this from another Abuna. The story legitimately made me angry. So there was this couple that were like married, and the guy ends up cheating on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, it's a bad situation. Okay.
Red flag.
It's the red carpet.
It's a red carpet. And immediately, like, she's not having it. Like, and the guy has a genuine repentance. And then she's first very, like, apprehensive and reluctant, but over time, she's starting to forgive him, and things are starting to get better, and they're making genuine progress. Mm-hmm. But she's still a little reluctant, so they decide to let in another couple to, like, help them work through their problems.
Oh, God. I think I see where this is going, and I don't like it.
And the couple, it worked great. The couple helped them out a lot, and they're making more progress. And the girl is actually starting to forgive her husband, and things are going a lot better. And things are going really good. So they decide, now we're at the time, we're going to let in another couple.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't like it.
So they let in another couple, you know, they're slowly making progress. And then the woman of the third couple decided to tell another person. And next thing you know, everyone knows. And the woman just spiraled. She couldn't handle it. She was embarrassed. And then they ended up having to file for divorce. I don't think adultery ruined that marriage. It wasn't adultery that ruined that marriage.
Because they were on the right track.
They were on the right track. There was more work to be done, but they were making progress.
It was gossip.
Exactly. So this stuff, like, you can have the potential to just completely destroy someone's life. What's so dangerous about gossip is that we don't even recognize that it's a sin. We gossip and we put like a Jesus twist on it.
A Jesus twist.
Prayer. We're doing a prayer meeting. This person, we need to pray for them. Oh, you didn't hear about them? This and this happened. Matthew 18:15. If your brother sins, go and reprove him in private. So this implies the desirability of resolving the matter one-on-one, not just shouting to everyone, like, hey, this person did this. These people have this going on. Like, Melech Shadawa.
Preach.
James chapter 1, 19-20. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. And later in the same like a few verses later in this exact chapter, he's like, literally, whoever of you thinks he's religious, and you don't bridle your tongue, your religion is useless.
What does bridle mean?
Like, if you can't control your tongue.
Okay.
If you can't control your tongue, and you think you're religious, your religion is useless. Useless.
It's very aggressive.
And then a few chapters later, I can't remember the exact thing, but he's like, if you guys are like having disputes among yourselves, and you have all this stuff going on, he calls them adulterers and adulteresses. His own congregation, he's calling adulterers and adulteresses. The people who talk about this are not messing around. This is like, so practical application. Yeah, this is don't gossip. But like, you need to talk about your problems to someone. Like, if you're going through something, you gotta talk to people. Don't bottle up your emotions. That's arguably as bad as gossiping, because now you're gonna explode. Okay. The key is discernment. Spiritual discernment. Okay. If you're going through a problem, all right. One, not everyone needs to know. Okay. The key is to be wise. Okay. So not everyone needs to know, and you need to find the right person. Okay. If you go with someone with loose lips, who you know they have like a track record of going to people and just talking behind people's backs, then don't go to them. What are you expecting is gonna happen? Okay. At that point, it's on you. You did this to yourself. Yeah. The thing, you guys are gossiping in your friend group. Okay. Me first and foremost. Okay. All right. What do you think is going to happen when you're not there? The gossip switches to you. In the poem, it says, I have no friends. I'm not your friend. So it attacks everyone. It's not just like, because I do it, then I'm immune to it.
Yeah.
But you can also cause it. You can be the best person in the world, and if you lack discernment on who to talk to, then you cause it to yourself. And don't give people excuses to talk about you, you know? So, like, you can't just be like, oh, woe is me, why is this happening to me? Like, you caused it to yourself. You did it to yourself. So be wise, okay? Like, and try to find someone that can actually support if that's what you need. Like, if you have a genuine problem that you need help with, then go to someone you know can help.
Father of confession.
Exactly. Or not even a father of confession. Go to someone you trust.
My mom.
Exactly. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
No, honestly, tip to the wise, the one person who will never tell anyone anything you tell them is your mom.
So yeah, find someone who can support. Unless you're venting, then if you just need someone to just talk to, just to get your problems out there, okay? But again, that makes the first point even more important. Find the right person.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Aw.
Don't go to a guy who's going to, or girl, who's going to just,
Destroy your life.
exactly. Okay?
Some of these issues are really big. Like, if you heard Simon's issue, like right before this, like he can't come up with a solution by himself, but he had the initiative to bring
Say
up
something.
the issue, and so that's great.
Can I just say I love when you compliment me? You have to backtrack to make sure you compliment everyone else so no one feels like their segment was worse.
Yeah, no, because here's the thing with the voice of the youth. When we contact the youth that come on, we tell them like, you have an opportunity here to just say what you think is a problem. Sometimes it's okay not to have an answer. Sometimes it's okay to just bring light to a problem, and that's where we just say, like, calling all servants and abunas. If you ever doing a meeting, don't know what to talk about, listen to the Voice of the Youth episodes. But it's also important to have these small steps to take, and you provided those steps. Shokran very much, Daniel.
I did it. You're welcome very much.
And our last guest for our Voice of the Youth episode, sadly, but don't worry, we will definitely be coming back with part 3 in the future. Our last guest, last but definitely not least, Michael Haroon. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
We're good.
Great. Thanks for being on.
Thank you both for having me.
We're gonna start off with an icebreaker.
Yeah.
If you could be any type of bird, what bird would it be?
What on earth?
Hey, like there's like eagles, pigeons, seagulls, all of the above.
Probably an eagle because it's a leader.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got the info from
See,
that.
none of you can see this, but there's like a picture of like an eagle soaring.
Yeah. It says no one can predict to what heights you can soar.
Even you will not know until you spread your
true.
wings.
Yeah, Michael.
I
Yeah,
like
Michael.
that. I like that.
He likes that. Okay, Michael, big question. If there's one thing in the church that you wish people talked more about, paid more attention to, or would change, what would it be?
That people would judge less. Maybe me. I feel
Yes.
like people are judgmental in the church, and sometimes people don't want to come back because of that.
Absolutely.
It makes people feel uncomfortable and sometimes unwelcomed, and they don't want to come back because of that.
I agree.
What do you think we can do as individuals?
Be more kind, and if you really are thinking something negative of someone, then just keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself, honestly.
I think it's such a basic concept, but it's so important.
It's so hard.
It's so important, and it's hard.
It's
yeah.
very hard. People are like, common sense, obviously. It's obvious. I'm like, why don't you do it then?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think people, if they think it's so common, they should just do it themselves, and I think that person's relationship is with God and not with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess just people keep your mouth shut. Let it be between that person and God, and if they need help, they'll go to a priest, or they'll go to Mike Hanna, or they'll
You're right. He's not
yeah,
wrong.
you're right. Yeah.
Or you go to my kind.
or they'll be a leader and help themselves out.
Yeah.
And I think something else to note is considering like why are you judging someone? Because
Yeah.
some people do it as a coping mechanism.
I think that's a big thing too, and I think you also don't know their environment. So
exactly.
I mean, that could be just trying to decompress or handling their stress that way.
And I think breaking the pattern. People are like, well, that's how everyone treated me. Well, then change it. So then you're treating someone that way, and then that someone's like, well, they treated me that way, and then we're never gonna.
Be the change you want to be in the world.
You want to see in the world.
See in the world.
It was close.
you did good, Natalie.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Maybe they don't even have to go to a priest or to like someone like that. Maybe they could just go to you, and you could be that person that helps change that.
And the other thing too is like, I read this thing once where it said that you might be the only Bible a person ever reads, and so we have to also remember that we're representatives of Christ, and it's not just within the church community but outside. If you treat someone really badly, then that's going to reflect on Christians in general and on Christ.
Yeah, it's kind of like being that example you want to see.
Shokran very much, Michael.
You're very welcome. And Awful very much.
And shukran very much to everyone who tuned in and listened. Please follow us on all of our social media accounts. There you can receive updates and send in topic and speaker suggestions, which you can also find in the show notes. Shukran very much for listening, and
We'll see you next week.